sign up for this shit. What's up, party people?
Party people? I haven't been to a party since like 1996.
You were only born in 1994. Maybe that's the last time it was a party.
Listen,
Because
I partied very young. So I partied very young.
So you don't want to party anymore?
No, I'm old. I'm not even 30 yet, but I feel like I'm 60.
This is why you pace it so you can party until you're 40. Just kidding. Who wants to do that? But anyways, guys, hi, I'm Minja.
And I'm Andrew.
And, welcome to our podcast, Hardly Adult.
Oh yeah, that's what we call
it. Is it?
I think so.
I'm getting old too,
yeah,
so I don't know.
Really
maybe I'm forgetting.
Luckily, I don't know. Luckily, the episode today is not about anything that we've been talking about for the past minute and a half. What is today about, babe?
So we're gonna do a part 2 on jobs. Just like how we feel about working a 9-to-5, quote unquote, and just where jobs are getting it right and wrong in our opinions. But before we do that, I kind of want to let you guys know what we're drinking. What are you drinking, babe?
The original Coca-Cola with cocaine in
it. He wishes.
Are we giving a sponsor to these companies right now? Is that what's happening?
No. I'm just in case you guys want to try something new.
So my kick lately has been Fountain Diet Pepsi with 2 pumps of cream. They do it at Maverick here. I don't know if other places have like quote unquote mixology stations. So 2 pumps of cream with a pump of caramel syrup and a pump of raspberry syrup. And that slaps.
So question for you. Are those syrups meant to be for coffees? And then you just use it in your soda? Or... But I always thought those stations were for people who are making the coffee.
So I think it's for both, but Maverick does it. They put all the syrups on the soda side of things next to all the straws and the lids that don't go with coffee. So it makes me think that it's intentional. I also last night was asked about my mixture, and then they were like, yeah, the mixology thing is pretty cool, and they have like QR codes you can scan to get different recipe ideas for yourself.
Okay.
So it seems pretty intentional for the soda.
I like it. And then the drink that I'm having right now, it's very out of character for me. It's an energy drink. I normally don't drink energy drinks because they make me wired. Yeah, I mean, I used to drink them a lot when I was in college and during finals week, but not really a fan. However, I was falling asleep this morning around, well, not morning, I guess it was noon, while we were watching one of our shows. So I was like, okay, no, because, okay, I normally, when we're watching something later at night, around like 9 p.m., that's when I'll fall asleep. So that was very weird. I was like, okay, I got to get an energy drink. So I'm drinking a 0 sugar Monster energy drink called Ultra Strawberry Dreams. Does that not sound fantastic? It's really good actually. But it definitely is an energy drink. You can taste it, and if you drink these a lot, guys, I mean, do your thing, but you may fuck up some of your organs, die early, have a heart attack. So yeah, I'm definitely not sponsoring it. I'm just saying I needed it today. But yeah, it's not bad. It just has that carbonation that kind of gets me sometimes. But yeah, that's what I'm drinking.
All right. That was a long thing to talk about some energy drink.
What? Hey, if you guys haven't tried it, go try it. It's pretty good. And I don't know why I had to mention, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you. Why I had to mention the zero sugar thing. I don't know. It really doesn't matter. Eat all the sugar, guys. But anyways,
So, anyways, like Minja had
he
mentioned,
judges me a lot, you guys.
I don't.
'Cause I talk a lot.
Well, I mean, we're 6 minutes in, and you were talking about your soda for half of
So
it.
what? Wow. So guys,
Okay.
this is how it is
So,
being in a relationship.
like
Okay.
Minja said, this is for jobs part 2. For those of you that have not been following us the entire time, we have an episode about jobs and general process of how to get them on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, whatever. Um, that'll eventually be on YouTube, but we wanted to kind of dive more into it and kind of share our experiences.
We do have a few episodes on there, don't we?
What?
I thought we had some videos on YouTube.
We do. We don't have our 3rd episode we ever created on the podcast on YouTube yet.
Oh, that's what you
Yeah,
meant.
that's what I had said.
Sorry, you're just kind of spacey. I was gonna say, like,
Anywho, so that's what we're talking about today. Babe, did you want to lead it off?
no, I mean, you started to kind of, what's it called? Take us towards that path. So go ahead.
Okay.
I'll give my 2 cents, but you start talking about it first. Do you like your job?
Okay, so that's where we're going with it then. All right. Yeah, I mean, with my job, it's interesting. We've talked about it before. I'm a data analyst, so I play with spreadsheets and formulas and programming and trying to gather actionable insights from a bunch of numbers that just look like gibberish to other people. I like that. With my current company, I have been given responsibility for several systems that do not mesh well together. I have been given massive spreadsheets that were grandfathered to me that other people set up that were not set up in a way that is logical for data and for spreadsheets. It's cool to look at, but I can't apply formulas to a lot of the data. So it's been frustrating.
Yeah.
And a lot of my job recently has just been correcting things that look like somebody 18 fresh out of high school put together and turned it into something that can be read by not only data analysts but the programming languages that I utilize to actually get things done. So it's like I said, it's interesting and kind of a weird place to be in where I like what I do. I don't like where I do it. And
Or how it's done, maybe. Or I don't know. Never mind. Continue.
so yeah,
Like how it's done, like how you are having to like fix all these things, like instead of you being able to create your own stuff and implement it.
yeah, I mean, I'm
Right?
not a fan of how I have to go about it.
Yeah, I worded it wrong.
If
My bad, guys.
if I could just start from scratch, which I can for, you know, data moving forward, but I still have to get all of this historical data. And that's one of the frustrating things. If it had just been done correctly, I would be done already instead of being on this project for 3 weeks now.
Yeah, for sure. Are there like any moments, I'll start talking about kind of my own opinion on, these corporate jobs and my role in them. But I just want to know, do you ever get that moment like at your job where you're just like, wow, this is why I love what I do? Or kind of like whoa, that's so cool when you figure something out. Do you get those moments ever? And if so, well, if you don't, do you think those moments are important?
So I do get both of those moments. I definitely like the moment where something clicks and you understand a lot more. Um, and that's something that this field requires a large patience for. Even though something might seem like it is straightforward, a lot of times when dealing with formulas or functions inside of a programming language or inside of Excel or a spreadsheet, uh, it's not as straightforward. And so you're going to run into a lot of times where you think you did something correctly and it returns some sort of error. And then you have to sit there and go piece by piece and say, okay, well, what freaking errored? Um, and so that can be frustrating, but it's also challenging and it's fun to be challenged. So you keep doing that. If you need to, step away from it for a minute, come back to it, and then eventually you get that light bulb in your head and you're like, oh, that's what I'm doing wrong.
Yeah. It's good to be challenged. I love when I'm challenged. At first, I'm irritated, especially, if I am challenged in, my relationships and stuff like that. But then I'm just like, fuck, I love that. Because then it keeps you going. But it does seem like it's kind of, these are ongoing projects, right? It's not like there's a goal necessarily, but you're doing projects, so you're starting projects at work, but you're never completely done with them. You're always fixing something, doing something. So that's why it's hard to get that satisfaction, because then you're like, nothing, like your work is never really done in that aspect. Is that true?
To a point, there is supposed to be an end point for all of these projects,
Mm-hmm.
but the issue is going back to talking about how a lot of our systems do not mesh well together,
Mm-hmm.
um, which is a part in part because of the systems, but then in part because uh, IT doesn't like to provide the level of administrator access that I need in order to effectively do my job.
Okay. Yeah. No, that is very, like, very tricky. Well, so I kind of just want to talk about, like, thank you for sharing. I just want to, like, kind of talk about how I feel. Just all these jobs that I've had, none of them have been truly, like, horrible, but they haven't been good enough where I, like, want to say stay and, like, see myself growing and, like, all that kind of stuff. So it's always been this in the middle feeling, which sometimes feels worse than the I hate my job feeling. I don't know, because you feel kind of like you're not making a difference. You're not doing, things that, like, you want to do in the role that you're in. So currently, right now, I am doing tier one technical support for a health navigation company. I won't mention which one. There's not actually a lot of them, so I'm sure it would be easy to figure out. But I basically chat and talk with customers on the phone and assist them with technical issues, creating their accounts, some troubleshooting, figuring out what they need to complete to earn different points, incentives, stuff like that. Am I okay to talk about this?
Yeah,
Yeah, it wasn't in too much detail.
nothing about what you've said is proprietary or breaching HIPAA, so you're
Okay,
fine.
cool. Um, that being said, I do like my supervisor. I do like a lot of the upper management. But where I am, and I like my coworkers, but how I feel personally is there isn't much flexibility. You do what you do and that's it. Like there's projects and stuff like that that I can be on, but it's kind of like you're going through the same like motion of the ocean every day. And a lot of these like corporate environments, especially that I've worked in recently, you have to go to break at a certain time, you have to go to lunch at a certain time, you can't really necessarily take multiple breaks if you need to. Like, it's, I don't feel like an adult and like I'm in charge of my future at the company, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I just want that flexibility. And this is why I really want to get to a place in my life where I'm like, I have my own business. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm, like making a difference and doing these like very innovative things that are helping people, but they're also just very cool. But it's also like that also carries its responsibility. So sometimes I'm like, I just want to lean towards the middle, right? Like hey, maybe I am employed at a company, but I'm more of like in an upper level position where I can make decisions and contribute to the conversation, but also there's flexibility. I'm paid a salary, like have better benefits, have better pay. And it's not all about those things, but they do, like, in this society, it's shit is expensive, guys. So I just wish employers would understand stuff more. If you're gonna give me more work, pay me more. And also, I want to feel like I am contributing in my role and feel good about what I'm doing. There are sometimes I end a call and I'm like, wow, I really helped this person. Like, people start crying sometimes. They're like, you really helped me. And that is a great feeling. It is.
Yeah.
But I just can't help but feel like there's more that I can be doing. But I don't know how to figure that out. I don't know how to, I mean, I'm young, I'm 25, but like, I'm still like, what if I never figure it out?
Well, I mean, that's what your 20s are for, is for figuring it out. And that's actually like a good thing for our listeners is not everybody is going to have everything figured out, but everybody only sees those posts on social media about the guy that became a doctor at age 24, or had a double bachelor or a double major by the time they were 21, or
Yeah, or like the people who, for example, will post and be like, hey, I became an entrepreneur and started like a successful business by only working 5 hours a week. So, how is that supposed to make me feel? Like, do you think those things are true?
absolutely not. I 100% think that those videos are clickbait.
Yeah.
Um, I've seen it. I've seen people working at things, uh, and that's what people see on the outside. So I have a friend that streams video games,
Mm-hmm.
and people always say, you get paid just to play video games. And that's what people see is the 3 4 hours a day that he's online streaming video games, but there's so much more to it than that.
Yeah, and sometimes it's more than like an actual full-time job, right?
Yeah,
Like,
owning your
there's a lot.
business, you should expect to be working 50 hours a week.
Yeah,
Like,
but what's different about it is you're doing what you love, right? And it's okay to pour your heart and soul into it.
well, and you're building your own equity. So, like,
Yeah.
right now, if I do a project that ends up increasing productivity by 2%, that's going to equate to, 20 or 30 million dollars extra in the company's pocket. But that's not my equity that I just built.
See, and
So,
that sucks, right?
yeah.
Like, you don't get a part of that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's very, I think people, I wish people were more honest, right? Like, if you're gonna go, and people look up to people on the internet, especially if they see that they're successful, they're doing great things, but I wish people would create more videos or stuff that's like, hey guys, yes, I'm making $10 million now, but it wasn't easy. This is what I did, and like, don't set false expectations for people.
Yeah.
That's kind of, I wish that was the case, because I try to never bullshit. Like, if I'm gonna put a video, it's gonna be like honest truth. Before, when I was younger, I was like, hey, like, oh, I'm so happy, I love, I'm like a boss ass bitch, this and that. But it's like, I mean, I am, but I struggle. But yeah, I just want to be doing, and like, here's my thing. I'll come home from work, right? I work 5:45 a.m. to 2:15 p.m. I know. fucking crazy very early, but I get off early too. And I work Monday through Friday. So it's not the most terrible thing in the world. I'm like, hey, like I get off at 2:15. I'm gonna come home and start some projects, start a blog, start learning to play the piano again, photography, all that stuff. But I feel so unmotivated after work to do stuff. But I want to start doing that so I can start building something that I am proud of. And so, but I'm being 100% honest and real here. It's hard. Like, I'll get home and I'm like, I just want to lay on the bed. I just want to turn on the TV and just decompress because it was a crazy busy day at work. And those days are more often than not. So, but I want to do more, but it's not enough to want it. You got to put some actions toward it. That sounded very
No, it didn't.
that sounded very like, oh, like basic, but it's true. Like you got to put some actions even if it is 5 minutes a day. Like, hey, like let's say I'm starting a blog, which actually I have been interested in doing and I've started writing in my notebook. Hey, if I can even put 10 minutes a day into this, I'm doing some actions to build toward a bigger goal. And that's what I need to incorporate. I'm not yet. This is me being honest, but I'm starting. I mean, I started that page in my notebook. Like it's going to be my first like article when I start my blog, but I haven't put anything into the computer, created the website, which I kind of know how to do now.
Yeah, you've had a few classes about it.
Yeah, and like there's a specific Wix. I like using Wix for blogs and stuff. But yeah, that's just how I feel now.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Wix is actually what our blog slash website was running on.
Was it?
I think so.
It wasn't WordPress?
No, I hate WordPress.
Or I swear it wasn't that one, but maybe. I don't know.
Well, we'll check. In any case,
But
but yeah,
yeah.
I mean, it's something I've realized too is it's kind of about figuring out when you are most motivated in a day
Hmm.
and working around that. Like you, at the end of the day, we're all victims of our circadian rhythms and when our bodies choose to be most productive. And so, like for me, I've noticed I'm most creative and like productive and wanting to get things done from like 7 to 11 or 12 at night. But
Right.
that's when we're winding down, eating dinner.
Oh, see, do you want to know when I'm most productive? I feel like at 10 a.m. from like 10 to 2. But that's when I'm working.
Well, so I guess you need a 3 to 11 job, huh?
But that would suck too. See, I'm like, I always tell people this. If I could work from 10 a.m. to 2, get paid the same amount of money, like it can be Monday through Friday, like that would be amazing. I'm getting my sleep, I'm working, and then I'm having my day, and then I can, I don't get burnt out. If I worked 4 hours a day, 5 days a week, like wouldn't get as burnt out. And I feel like maybe this is just me talking. I feel like I would, put more, what's it called, effort into the things that I love. But yeah, that's a good point that you make. See, you're more of like do stuff in the evening type of person, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
more like kind of midday. Like I don't like doing things in the morning. When I'm working, I'm not awake at work until like 9 or 10, and that's already my lunchtime. That still sounds weird to fucking say, but um but yeah, I'm just like, I want to pursue my passions. I want to get in it. I want to love something to the deepest part of my core. Like, I want to be actually, hey, like, I worked 10 hours on this, but it didn't feel like work. I loved what I did. Like,
Yeah.
and what talking about it, it's just like, that feels good. That's what I want. But what were you calculating? Was that for
Oh,
this?
that was just an estimation of like working 20 hours a week, but making $60 an hour.
Okay.
So you'd come out to about $3,600 a month, $1,800 a paycheck after
But I
taxes.
would need to be making $60 an hour.
Correct.
$60 an hour. That just sounds like a dream, doesn't it?
I mean, you'll get there. It just takes time. Like my dad's been in IT for what, 25 years now or so.
Hey, oh, I'm just kidding. He's not here.
uh, but at one point he was able to charge $150 an hour for consulting.
Whoa, that's a lot of money. Does he make that now?
No, not at all. And the only reason he charged that much, to my understanding, was to screw over the company that he was consulting for because they had fired him. And then I had him come back because no one could figure out how to run the network that he had set up. So he was like, well, screw y'all. You fired me, so you can pay me a healthy premium to get my butt an hour away from where I live, because that was his commute one way each day. It was an hour.
Wow.
Yep. So.
Yeah, I want to, like, I've been like kind of thinking about what I want to do, right? I think it would be cool to have like a t-shirt line or a blog or both. And I want to inspire other people. And that I want that to be part of my thing. I want to inspire others. Maybe it's selfish, but it's also partly like, hey, like I want to make a difference. But I also want to love what I do, and I don't want to miss out on huge moments in my life. I don't want to like, put my friendships, my relationships, my family stuff to the side. Like I want to do it all. I know it's hard, but it's like I've always pictured, like, when we have kids, like I've always pictured like I'm going to be there in the morning with them and also after school, but I want to work, but I want to be involved. I don't want to miss out on the important things in life because of money, but
Right.
also I want to make money so I can give myself and the people in my life a good life.
Yeah, I get you.
It's kind of like and I feel like something has to be sacrificed. Maybe not. Maybe I'm thinking like too small. But I'm like something like I'm like sleep. I mean, I'm already sacrificing that now. But like I feel like something. It's relationships that are suffering. It's the sleep. It's the giving my all at work. It's something.
Yeah,
So
I get you.
I don't know. This is one of those things. And I wish companies were more understanding if you need to take a mental health day, if you need to take a day off, like just because you're not doing well, like maybe you're sick or with women. I'm not even sorry about saying this, but I think we deserve 3 days off a month just for being on our period. It's painful. Sometimes it's debilitating. I can't get out of bed. Oh, and what do I need to do? I need to call out from work, come into work the next day. I have a point, and those add up. And then I have a verbal, then I have a written, then I have a final, then I'm fired, right? There's not much understanding. And I know people take advantage of stuff. I get that. But maybe make these places of employment better places to work, and they won't take advantage of it.
Yeah, it's true.
But yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I have to say. Hopefully, I mean, one day we'll figure out what we really want to do. Be happy. Grinding is good, but I don't want to grind to the death.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to say, Bip?
No, I think we summed it up pretty well.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for listening. This is awesome. We love doing this. We love, having you guys hear us. Please go follow us on Instagram at Hardly Adult Pod. Like this episode, share this with your family and friends, subscribe. But yeah.
Yep.
Have a great weekend and we love you. Bye.